up? Welcome to my review for 10 Cloverfield Lane. I can't believe this movie is here. And only 2 months after not only the first trailer came out, but when it was announced. It was announced 2 months ago. The trailer was one of those things, like I even did a trailer review, which got like tons of views, because I went to go see 13 Hours, that movie everybody forgot about at this point. I went to see it, and out of nowhere, a trailer showed, and I was like, oh, this looks really good. This looks really, oh, it's John Goodman, oh, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I really like her. It's really, really intense, and there's barely any dialogue, it's all music. I was like, oh man, this looks great. And then at the end, it just fades out, and it says Cloverfield. I'm like, I just started having a seizure, but it's like an excited seizure. I'm like, yeah. I couldn't believe what I was seeing on screen, and I'm sure you're probably saying the same thing after I was shaking around, but I really couldn't believe what I was seeing. A new Cloverfield movie, and I went to go see some. Originally I wasn't even going to see 13 Hours that day. I was going to see it the next day, but I saw it at a Thursday screening. I was like, yeah, let's check it out. Okay, oh, this is a new movie I haven't seen. Maybe this trailer dropped today and I didn't realize it, and then Cloverfield, and really I didn't freak out, go yes, and you know, walk around the theater going pointing at everybody like, yeah, fucking hyped, because no one was really hyped. I didn't hear anybody go, oh wow. But I was like this. I was fucking in this disbelief. So now we have a new Cloverfield movie, and sadly it does have very little to do with Cloverfield, but if this is going to be kind of like a Twilight Zone style of movie making, where I know Twilight Zone wasn't a movie, that's not what I'm saying, but if they take the approach where they just use the name Cloverfield, but it's always different stories, but it's always about someone that's messed up, or someone that's like a killer, or something. It's always like a not sci-fi, but like a horror thriller or something like that, but it's always has a unique style to it. If they keep doing that, I am a huge fan of that, because this movie, this movie was amazing. I freaking love this movie, and I say this a lot when I love a movie, but this one literally blew me away. I wasn't even in the theater at the end of the movie. I was like, I'm in the parking lot, I'm in the seat and stuff. It really did blow me away, because I saw this shit in IMAX, baby, and it was loud as motherfucker. 10 Cloverfield Lane is a movie that really just starts off wonderful. It really does. It starts off and you're like, oh man, already, like the direction, the camera work, even some of the acting, like the first like 5 minutes is just all music and you don't hear anybody, and it's really setting a mood that is very well done. Like it's so well done. And even some of the acting, you don't hear anybody talking the first 5 minutes, but you follow Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, Michelle, as she's doing something. Like, you don't know exactly what she's doing. She's packing up or something, and then you realize, oh, it looks like she's like running away from her boyfriend or something. She's getting away from her boyfriend. You never really know why, but we can assume like abusive relationship, or maybe she's just like one of those people that just like after one fight she's like, I'm done. or maybe she's just a little bit later you kind of find out really kind of what happened a little bit, but not too much. But anyway, point is that the first 5 minutes is just all music. You don't know what's going on, and it's just seeing her act, like just the acting already, immediately you just see her act, like literally act. She has to seem sad and seem distraught and a little nervous and kind of scared, and she does an amazing job of the first 5 minutes. I'm just like, damn, this is freaking great. And then it gets nuts after that. Her car crashes, and then she wakes up and she finds herself inside what looks like maybe like kind of like a jail cell, or maybe like like kind of like a jail cell. That's probably what she was thinking at first. She was like, oh man, or like a dungeon or something like that, or a cellar. And then she finds out she's actually in a doomsday bunker made by John Goodman's character, Howard, who is a guy that was very much a conspiracy theorist, who's like, oh yeah, there's aliens out there, and I made this bunker just in case something happens. And of course he's saying like, hey, I brought you here, your car crashed, you had a car crash, I brought you here, I saved you, and yeah, there's stuff going on outside. The air is inhabitable. If you go out there, you will die. So I saved you. There's another guy there that helped him make the bunker. He's there. I saved him. So I saved both of you. So we'll be in here for maybe a year, maybe two. Who knows? So there you go. That is the whole premise of this movie, is that she's stuck in this bunker with a person that she doesn't really believe in his little stories about the outside world being contaminated. There's a lot of doubt being thrown out there. She soon finds out maybe there is something going on out there, but there's also something going on with this guy Howard, who may be a little insane, maybe, who knows. But anyway, that's the story of 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's a movie that really makes you like question, like, what the hell's going on? Like, is this guy insane? Is there something going on outside? Is it just like him kidnapping these two people or something? Or is there something really going on out there? And it is a movie that is so filled with tension. This movie should have been called 10 Tension Lane. Like it was, or 10 Shin Cloverfield Lane. That was a good one. That was a good one. I had to give myself a high five. Woo! But anyway, all kidding aside, this movie is really filled with tension. You never know what's gonna happen. Just John Goodman himself plays such a, at times, kind of sympathetic, and then other times just insane kind of villain. In ways, he just portrays himself as a villain. I'm not gonna say if he ends up being a villain or not. You know, that's for you to find out. But I'll say right here, he does at first like make himself seem like a villain. He's like breaking down. He's like there's times where they're just talking and having a good time, and he's slamming his fist against a table and going shut up and stuff. And there's things where he just seems very unwired, and his performance is so excellent. He is so good in this freaking movie. I would even say maybe Best Supporting Actor nomination. Maybe even, I guess his name comes up first, so maybe even Best Actor. Right now, his performance is excellent. He plays such a very interesting, kind of weird, just crazy dude, but he's still sympathetic at times. And it's his best performance in maybe his entire career, maybe since Fred Flintstone. No. But no, it's probably his best performance, maybe since Big Lebowski, really. And yeah, he's so freaking good in this. Yeah, so I highly recommend seeing this just for his performance. But of course, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, like I said, the first 5 minutes, she proves that she is a great actress. And I've already knew that. I've seen her in other movies. Even stuff that wasn't all that great, like the Thing prequel. She really held it together in that movie and showed off that she's not just a pretty face. She can act, and she can also be a badass. And in this movie, man, there's times where I'm just like, this girl is fucking badass. Love her. I hope she becomes a really big actress, because really she is excellent. She's like, I would say at this point, like I would say Jennifer Lawrence, I love you, but you gotta move aside, because she's the next big thing, I think. She is so good in this as well. And that's not to say the third guy, John Gallagher Jr., is bad, because he shows up. He was the guy that helped John Goodman's character build this bunker, and he's just there. You know, he's like really grateful for being there because there's something going on outside. And he actually kind of confirms it at first, like, yeah, there is definitely something going on outside. But then he starts questioning, like, is there something going on outside? Maybe I just saw things or whatever. Maybe this guy's lying. So there's a lot of doubt being thrown around with all these characters. But even him, he's great too. He's really, really good. He's very likable all the way. I mean, straight up from the beginning. He's one of those guys that likes to talk, and he's like he just wants to be friends immediately with Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character Michelle, which I would too, because she has a very friendly face. So yeah, the acting is completely top-notch in this film, all the way throughout. There's so much character development as well, especially when it came to Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character. Her character from point A to point B completely changes character-wise, and I have to give them so much credit here. The guys that wrote this movie, wrote the screenplay and all of that, because, man, the subtlety of her character development is so... It's very subtle. You won't just go, oh, that's what they're doing. They're making her this kind of character now. It's very subtle, and the way they do it, it's so excellent. And I have to give really big kudos to the screenplay writer who, the screenwriter, I guess, screenplay, right? The screenwriter who was the guy that did Whiplash, directed and wrote Whiplash, I'm pretty sure. And he definitely knows how to write a screenplay, because, man, the acting is so good. The writing is freaking top notch. The story itself is great. The guys that wrote the story, you know, kudos to them too. And the direction is perfect here, especially since it's all in a cellar. The way they like make the camera make the cellar look big and small at times and stuff like that is just so good. It's an amazing film when it comes to acting, and it really is a good thing that they focused only on 3 characters, because the 3 characters here are so engaging. You really do either care about these characters or you're interested by these characters. You really want to know what's going to happen next, and the mystery is completely there. It's you'll be guessing, oh, what's going to happen? Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Is there really something going on up there? Is John Goodman just insane? Like, it's so well done. It's so creepy at times, and it's really scary too. Let me just say, first 5 minutes, I watched this in IMAX, and I was just like, God, Jesus, because there was a moment, the car crash. Let me just say, the car crash is one of the best car crashes I've seen in a movie ever, and the way they do it is just like, it's an IMAX, so you can imagine it was pretty freaking loud. But the way they did it, it was really like, when is it gonna happen? Because she's in her car, and then they kind of lull you in a sense of like, oh, it's probably not gonna happen right now, and then it happens. I'm like, God, gee. And then the way they do it, as they're introducing the movie's title, you need to see it. You need to see this in IMAX. This movie blew me away in IMAX. So yeah, acting, writing, the screenplay itself, the screenwriting, it's just a freaking amazing movie when it comes to filmmaking. Dan Trachtenberg did a great job with the direction. The story itself is very interesting. If you are asking, is this a movie that is actually set in the Cloverfield universe? Is this actually a sequel to Cloverfield? I can't say much right now, but let's just say expect it to kind of disappoint you when it comes to, is this a Cloverfield movie? Because it really isn't. It's more like, this is what they were trying to say when they were talking about this universe for Cloverfield, where they're going to make other movies with Cloverfield's title, but it's not going to be exactly like Cloverfield 1 or even maybe this movie. What I think they're saying is, like, it's going to be kind of like Twilight Zone in a way, and I know that's not a movie. Well, it was, but you know what I mean. Twilight Zone started off as a TV show, but it'll be kind of like that, where they share the name Twilight Zone, or for this, it'll be sharing the name Cloverfield, but each movie is going to be different. It's going to be like maybe similar in a way. Maybe there will be aliens. Maybe there will be what this movie is all about, which is like, I guess, what is it, bottle film. But maybe it'll be something different. And it'll always have that Cloverfield name because that's what you can come to expect. You can come to expect a lot of tension, some really good acting, maybe some good camera work, which I love the camera work in Cloverfield 1. I know a lot of people don't, but I thought that movie did a great job of not showing off the monster too much, and the camera work in this movie is excellent as well. Does a great job of showing claustrophobic and then open spaces, even though it's all in that cellar. Yeah, it's an amazing film. I don't have anything else to say. This is my favorite movie this year, and let me tell you, I absolutely loved Zootopia, which I didn't review, which I will in the future. This movie blew me away, and I have to give it a 40 out of 40. I have no complaints. If I had any complaint, and it's small. It's small. Because you know what? Screw it. I was going to say I was a tad bit disappointed by it not being kind of Cloverfield 2, but really this is a better movie than Cloverfield. So that's why I say that's a very small criticism, because this movie's better than Cloverfield. This is a better movie than Cloverfield, and that's a movie I absolutely loved, and I couldn't wait for a sequel. So this movie blew me away. It's my favorite movie this year. It's going to be hard to top it because I love it. I can't wait to go see it again. It's so tense. One of the scariest tense movies I've seen in a very long time. Some great performances. John Goodman deserves an Oscar. The character, the writing, the characters, the character development, it's almost perfect. Like, I know 40 out of 40, like a 10 out of 10, that would suggest perfect. But really, there's times where I give that movie, give a movie that score, but it's not technically perfect, but I just loved it so much. This movie is so close to perfect, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe some people will find the ending a little silly. Some people, maybe, not silly, but they'll be disappointed by how the ending is compared to the rest of the movie. But me, I was like, that's perfect. I loved it. I loved that ending. So yeah, I can't wait to see more, man. J.J. Abrams, you're talking about how there's going to be a sequel. Bring it on. Bring Dan Trachtenberg back. Bring the guy that wrote Whiplash back, and bring the guys that did the story. And I think they also did the screenplay as well. They helped write the screenplay. Bring all those people back. Bring whoever you can back. I want to see more. So overall, there you go. That's my review for 10 Cloverfield Lane. Expect a spoiler-filled, review in the near future. Me and a couple of friends are going to actually review this movie again, but they're also going to share their opinions, and we're going to talk major spoilers and talk about if it does relate to Cloverfield 1 at all or not or whatever. So get ready for that. That's coming soon. Maybe early tomorrow, but I might post it up tonight as well, just to say screw it. So anyway, there you go. 10 Cloverfield Lane. I freaking love this movie. It's an instant classic in my book. I loved it. It's so good. It's near perfect. So there you go. Thank you, and until next time, goodbye.